You're standing in the middle of a room. The bass line of the music is thumping against the floorboards. The lighting is low and warm. You've got a cold drink in your hand. And you are completely, effortlessly crushing it. You're firing off jokes. You're remembering names. You're asking all the right follow-up questions. You are keeping the energy of the entire group afloat. To everyone else in that room, you are the life of the party. You are magnetic. But right now, somewhere behind your ribs, there is a quiet, heavy, hollow ache. It's a very specific physical sensation. It's a voice whispering in the back of your mind, telling you that if you just vanished into thin air right this second, nobody here would actually care. Sure, they'd notice the jokes stopped. They'd notice the sudden silence. They would miss the entertainment. But they wouldn't actually miss you. You are entirely present, making everyone else feel good. And yet, you feel like a complete ghost. Welcome to Inside Human. If you've ever felt completely invisible while standing in the exact center of a crowded room, you aren't caught in some personal failure. You are caught in a very specific psychological trap. Today, we're going to get inside that trap. When society talks about loneliness, we usually picture a very specific stereotype. We picture the awkward guy hovering by the snack bowl, the person staring at their phone in the corner, terrified of making eye contact. Because of this, hidden loneliness is the hardest type of isolation to spot. It doesn't look like isolation. It looks like extreme competence. It looks like charisma. When you finally get the courage to tell someone you feel drained or disconnected, they usually try to explain you with labels that don't quite fit. They'll say, "Oh, you're just an introvert," or "You probably just have some social anxiety." But that isn't what this is. Introversion means you get tired by the noise and want to go home. Social anxiety means you're scared of being judged, evaluated, or exposed. But this feeling, this hidden loneliness, is the exact opposite of wanting to hide. You don't want to go home. You actually want to stay at the party. You just desperately, deeply wish that someone in that room would stop letting you entertain them long enough to actually discover the real you. You aren't afraid of the crowd. You are agonizingly stuck in the massive gap between being seen and being known. So how did you get here? How does someone become so highly socially skilled, yet remain so completely emotionally isolated? To understand this, we have to look backward. Because this kind of bulletproof charisma isn't just a quirky personality trait. It is something you learned. Somewhere along the line, you learned that the messy, unpolished, complicated version of you wasn't welcome at the table. Maybe your parents were constantly stressed or distracted, and you realized the best way to keep things smooth was to be easy. No trouble. Maybe approval only came when you got the grades, or when you acted as the family peacekeeper, smoothing over the tension in the house. Or maybe you just figured out that being the funny kid deflected criticism. Whatever the trigger was, you learned to read rooms. You learned to scan the emotional temperature of the adults around you and offer the exact emotion they required. You didn't learn how to connect. You learned how to perform. And you got really, really good at it. You built an impenetrable, charming exterior, a heavy suit of armor made of quick wit and easy smiles. But here is the tragic, exhausting irony of the armor you built. When you wear a mask, and people applaud the mask, you never actually feel loved. You only feel useful. When people praise you at that party, when they tell you how great you are to be around, it doesn't warm you. It stings. Because you secretly suspect they only love the performance. If they saw the tired, anxious, ordinary man or woman behind the curtain, they would head straight for the door. If this is hitting a little too close to home right now, take a second to subscribe. We explore the hidden psychology of everyday life here. And you don't have to carry this weight alone. Now, take that childhood armor, that deeply ingrained habit of performing, and drop it into a modern city. What happens? It gets rewarded. A crowded room, or a densely packed urban center, gives you 1,000 chances to be seen, but almost no chance to be known. We pack millions of people into high rises, subway cars, and busy streets. We put human bodies within physical inches of each other. But we design our lives for speed, throughput, And efficiency. We don't design them for lingering. We don't design them for intimacy. Every interaction is surface level. Every conversation is interrupted. You buy your coffee from the same barista every morning. You nod to the same doorman. You sit shoulder to shoulder with strangers on the commute. You are surrounded by a sea of humanity. Yet you are completely starved of empathy. And then, we add digital hyperconnectivity to the mix. Your phone gives you the illusion of a social life. Hundreds of followers. Dozens of shallow interactions and quick text threads. It consumes your time. It drains your social battery. But it leaves you hollow. You end up with a social calendar full of party acquaintances. But absolutely nobody you could call at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Just because you're staring at the ceiling and feeling sad. You are not broken for feeling this way. The modern environment is built to keep you connected just enough to stay busy, while keeping you isolated where it counts. So how do you break out of the paradox? How do you take off the armor? The instinct, especially for high achievers, is usually to try harder. To go to more parties. To be louder. To force yourself to put yourself out there. But you cannot fix this kind of loneliness by turning up the volume on your performance. Being known is slow. It is quiet. It is unglamorous. Think about the times in your life when you've actually felt safe and connected to someone. It probably wasn't at a massive networking event or a loud dinner party. It was probably in the passenger seat of a buddy's truck. On a long, boring drive down the highway. Why does that specific environment feel so safe? Because driving side by side removes the pressure of direct eye contact. There is a shared distraction in looking at the road. There is nowhere to run. There is no rush to fill the silence. And most importantly, there is absolutely no pressure to entertain. The format finally matches your actual need. You have to start dropping the script. The next time a safe friend asks how your week was, do not just put on the smile and say, "Good, man, just keeping busy." Give them one real, slightly messy, unfinished detail. Tell them you are exhausted. Tell them you're incredibly frustrated about a project at work. Tell them you're feeling a little lost. And then, and this is the hardest part for the life of the party, embrace the boring. Stop feeling responsible for everyone else's entertainment. When a lull happens in the conversation, don't panic. Don't rush to fill it with a funny story. Just sit in it. Let someone else carry the weight of the silence for once. Look, breaking this cycle isn't going to happen by next weekend. You have spent decades perfecting this armor. It has kept you safe. It has made you successful. It is terrifying to finally take it off. Your brain will scream at you, telling you that if you stop being the entertainment, everyone will leave. And the harsh, unpolished truth? Some of them might, as you drop the performance. Some friends who only kept you around for your entertainment value will drift away. Let them. They were never keeping you company anyway. They were just keeping you busy. But the real ones? The ones worth keeping? They will stay. Because the payoff of dropping the act is not that life gets easier. It's that it gets real. You are allowed to be ordinary. You are allowed to be moody. And quiet. And completely unfinished. The moment you let just one trusted person see the unedited, tired, real version of you, and they don't head for the door, that is the exact moment the room finally stops feeling so damn empty.